your hand as well.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me quickly finish Paulette's points. The National Library, I think that's one that I wanted to mention that, right? Everyone here has a legal duty to put your book in your National Library. A legal duty. It's a legal thing. So the fact that it helps, as Paulette said, to get more credibility helps, right? But I've got my book, I've got my National Library forms here to fill in and send my book to them at my expense. And so if you're wondering why bother, so one is a legal duty, so you have to do it. Number two is our national libraries do actually rent out books and charge people for it. I don't know what your national libraries do. I'm saying in the UK, they will lend at you, but they charge people for it, and then they will send you checks where people borrow your books from the library. Again, think what that means. Say no, where else are you going to have your book on a shelf for a lifetime? The National Library, in the archives. If it comes to, I'm saying, make sure your book goes in national libraries. Don't no. Say when I sent Paulette the form, I'm like, make sure you just do it now, and she did, and here we are. Your local library can also rent out your books and charge money. If someone brings it back late, then it's a few pence here and there, right? It's something. Let me stop talking for now. Michelle, Paulette mentioned charity. Saying I'm writing in my book for charity. Look, I covered this last 2 weeks ago. No one cares if you're writing for charity. No one gives them monkeys. They don't care. Sorry, it sounds a bit harsh, right? You think if you're writing for a good cause, people will go, "Oh, I want to support that cause. Oh, I really do." But people know the truth. And what people know is this: you're not going to sell enough books to make a difference to anyone, not even yourself, let alone a charity. Some charities are lucky to get $2 out of people, out of authors. $2. What's the point? As a book reader, if I'm going to support the charity that you want to support, I'm actually just going to support them directly, right? I'm going to the website, donate money to them, and give them $10 and say, right, I've done a good deed for the day. I can claim some tax back. Who was telling me this yesterday? Michelle, I think, Michelle B. I'm saying you have to donate a lot of money to get the tax relief that you hope for. That makes a difference. But most charities don't get anything meaningful from any author, and readers know this. Don't use that as your selling nuggets, so to speak. That can't be your trick. You have to have a quality book that people actually want to read. That's more important than saying I'm selling this book for a charity. Dr. Roxana, welcome. Of course, Dr. Roxana is one of my co-authors of my book that you see behind me. Listen to them from COVID. Dr. Roxana has 2 other books out. One about building and preserving wealth for parents, and the other one is about AI in education. Yay. Let me stop talking now. Joni, Michelle, who's going to speak first?
Oh my gosh, she just went off camera real quick.
Go for it, Michelle.
I wanted to touch on. The first would be the marketing aspect. Just kind of listening to everybody's different inputs. So when I participated in my first anthology. I had no idea what it was, as far as I guess maybe the meaning behind the structure and all of that. It was just it was honestly part of graduation assignments to participate in an anthology and contribute a chapter. So in the retrospect of it, and then in conversation with that publisher and owner, all that, throughout our conversation, which I guess it had not been tapped into, was that there were, because this was through school, and then there were so many anthologies, because obviously every class, there's multiple ones being created for different whatever area they align as far as subject matter. They had never really had somebody say, I wanted the entire set, like all the anthologies. And that prompted a bundling deal. And there was a way for her now on Amazon, you can buy a book in its full price, or you can take 5 of the 50 with that subject matter and bundle them together for this percentage off, or 10 of this many for this percentage off, or let's go ahead and buy the entire 50 books and take this percentage off. So that was one I wanted to kind of check in with, and that was really just through conversation. No it wasn't even professional. That was more just a private talk. Now this insight is fully personal. It is fully myself. This is what I believe makes me unique, what makes me different, why you case study me. I don't write for anybody. I don't write for an audience. I don't write for a targeted area. What I do, I know I live a life that I am faced with adversities and challenges, that there are so many people that you don't endure what I endure. So there's not paths to walk with guidance available. What I've learned through the last decade is write for myself, from my heart and from my mind and from my soul. And I need to do that for my own therapeutic process. And I need to do that to heal and to find the strength and the courage to keep going, because there's not people that have walked my path to be able to tell me what to do to keep going. So first and foremost, every single thing that I do, like when I write, it is for me. It is to heal, and it is to make sure I don't give up, and it is to find courage and strength, and it's to remind myself that at the end of the day, everything I'm doing is because when I'm no longer walking the earth, I want to know my daughter in conversations about her mother will say she's proud. This is who my mom was, and this is what my mom did. And I want her to have tangible receipts to prove, because I live a life where my truth is real and receipts prove it, but I'm called a liar there. And I fight fights that people shouldn't have to fight. Now, with that said, and what I've been able to show Annie, and this is where it's, this is a unique case study, is once the books are done and then you read them, the targeted audience, you then realize my books can now help medical professionals and behavioral therapists. Well, I can help the parent going through it, or I can help the individual. So then it becomes, the marketing strategy is not marketed to necessarily a direct audience. I am now having to do several marketing plans to several targeted audience, because my books, in some crazy manifestation way, always are able to contribute to many sectors and many audiences in many different ways for many reasons. Annie knows there's 2 books right now, fully written, waiting to be edited and published. Legalities. I have to wait for court litigations and lawyer approval. Like, I have 3 books in the process of being written that literally can be marketed to 4 professional industries and 2 private. And I know it's rare, and that's just what it is.
And there's many things we can learn from you. Nikki, I'm going to send you the link into your DM. Let me welcome Sarah. Sarah, I'm glad you're here. To say good afternoon all. So thank you so much for joining us. I think Dr. Lisa made a comment to you, Michelle, earlier. I think Dr. Lisa said something about, can never be hating on my rebel sis, Michelle.
Listen, my haters are my favorite. I love haters. Like, I love my haters more than I love my friends, because
she's saying that hatred thing is only for me. Yes, Lisa, it's fine. If I get to call you a doctor, you can do as you wish. Really, it's fine. I don't mind. Paulette's gone. So she's asking for the link again. Okay. Let me do what I got to know. I mean, Michelle, there's a lot to learn. Look, when you mentioned the anthology and how you actually helped to get people to buy the anthology. I mean, that's a great thing, right? So a lot of people will not promote their anthologies. Maybe because they don't make money from it themselves. Maybe because money they're gonna make is never as much as they might have imagined. So I'm just working through an anthology right now with a team, and we are kind of stuck on the royalties conversation. Part of me is thinking, you know what? Give them no royalties. It's not coming to me. It's going to my co-organizer. I'm saying, right, you keep the money because I don't want the money. It's not that no, the money is never going to be enough for me to
That's not your purpose.
No,
yeah.
Also, I think people misunderstand the logistics of sharing money to a group of people from book sales, because you have to think about it. And we'll have to open a separate account for this book, and then we'll have to administer that account. So we have to sit down almost every year and go through it. Here's how many books were sold. Here's how much money we've made. Here's how much money there is in the pot. We can share amongst all of you. See, I can see us doing that for a year or two. I don't mind that for a year or two. I'm saying I don't want to be talking about this book that we've written now in 25 years' time. Don't be holding me as if I'm going to be having a meeting with you. I'm not. I'm just not. I would have moved on a long time ago. I'm going to say in a couple of years at most, it can be done. And then we'll talk about the whole thing. What happens when someone dies? And do you have to your inheritance? What happens to it? Nikki, please check your DM on LinkedIn and then do join us. I'd love to have your thoughts. So well done you, but I think you need people to do that extra work like you've done, Michelle. Actually go out there and talk about this book, whatever book it is, your book, an anthology. But unless someone's talking about it,
extra work. But what I want to point out is that for me, in my mind, when those thought things happen, that's not extra work. My thought process is the neurodivergence that I have. It is very, very untypical and it is very different. But it's not even that it's extra work. It's that you and this person, y'all engage in real conversation. There's no motive. There's no expectations. And I think that is actually what allows that creativity and those thoughts to be so brilliant and manifest the way they do, is because you provide the environment where that safety is and where that vulnerability to just be me exists. And I think that is what matters.
I agree. It's you that's frozen, not me. I'm looking to make sure. Okay, you're back again. Look, I think many people don't love their book enough. That's the point, Michelle. They write the book, put it on, publish the book, and then walk away. I'm saying I see that every day. And I think your way proves that if you love your book, then it's a tool, right? It can help people. If you don't tell them, they'll never know. They'll never buy it if you don't. So you have to find a way to keep telling them. See, I'm lucky. I'm here every day, pretty much, and you get to see this background behind me. You get to see my book. You get to see my author's books. I'm saying, so what's your way of getting your message out there every day, my friends? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? So Michelle's got several marketing plans for different audiences. I say, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't care about not selling any books. I'll take that. I say, one of my new clients is 92. I'm like, 92. But he's been writing this story for the last 35 years. But now he's finally ready to get this book printed and published. I'm saying, right, so what's the book about? Oh, it's about the Biafran War in Nigeria in the 30s and 40s, 1930s and 40s, not 2030s and 40s, my friends. I'm like, damn, that is so long ago. Who gives a monkeys? We've moved on. But he insists he wants to tell his story because he was in the army. He wants to tell his story of what truly happened from his point of view, right? I'm like,
then you let it go for him.
Yeah, but
That's what if it's not going to make him money.
no, I'm saying, like, who's gonna buy the book?
It's like
I would absolutely buy that book.
A legacy. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love
absolutely buy it.
It's a legacy. Like, Michelle, I'll come to you when the time comes. I assure you. I'll send you the link to buy them. They'll be like, when I do, there'll be a book launch. Do come and buy the book. The old man might not be there himself, but I'm saying, but do come and buy the book. I'm sure Michael will buy the book. Because Michael loves
Get that out right now. Get that out right now. Right this second.
What, that book?
If he's 92,
that's gonna probably end up being an Oscar-winning movie. Those are the best.
You could get that protein.
I'm with you, Joni. We'd have to move very quickly because this 92 is pretty old and time is going.
Oh yeah,
we
need his story.
Yes,
that's his story, and that's most of what all of us are trying to accomplish initially when we start writing is put our story down on pages, right? And so, frankly, if you think your memoir is going to sell millions, it is not, as Annie had said. It's just not. But it is such a wonderful thing to do for your family so that they can know you. And I also really resonate with what Annie said. A lot of people don't like their book because it takes a long time to get it out. And then maybe after a year or 2 years, your life is slightly different than when you started out, because life does change.
Let's make that 3 months, that journey. 3 months. Everyone, most people get their book after 3 months. They move on.
No, I'm saying writing it. Like actually figuring it out. It's like putting the courage to put a pen to paper, and then it's you're at a different point in your life for a memoir type thing. And I think you have to think about writing a book in multiple different ways. Like, are you in there to make money? Because it's a few memoirs that really do make money, but they're so important to how you feel as a parent or grandparent. And I think that's so good. But I also think that if you want to make money writing, think about what you would buy just sight unseen, like at a cute bookstore. You would buy fiction. And if you have kids, you would buy kids' books. And that's true. 70% of all books sold are fiction. So if you have a penchant for mythical romance, that is way up there. So I'm just saying
let me say, it's really to hit what you said. Like, what you said was that if you want to make millions, right? So memoirs and then self journeys, and how the self resonation with it, I've learned through my self journey. I am so into me and self-aware and everything, is that I know who I am today is not who I was yesterday and not who I will be tomorrow. I live in my moment with the most brutal, real rawness, unwavering, because I got to know that whatever I do today, even if it happened in the moment, I got to be strong enough to know that I can stand behind it in 10 years or defend it from back then. So I think, and then that piggybacks to what you just said. If you want to write a book that you're going to not have second thoughts or have it discouraging or just not like who you used to be, probably get some therapy. You should just learn to love yourself, number one. But number two, then write about something that is statistical and scientific and data and something that is evidence, based, that it doesn't matter as it goes, the evidence, statistical analysis of it stays the same. Because I think that when you're writing it for yourself, and then, the memoir style, or you're writing for yourself, but you're using this, like those are, it puts you down two different trajectory paths.
I would definitely, I understand what you're saying. And yeah, you're kind of reiterating what I think. I think that it is so healthy, especially if you have gone through some life struggles. Okay, we all have. We all have. Okay, so I just want to give you all a big hug, and that's don't worry if you feel nervous about your struggles, but putting pen down on paper is such a good thing therapeutically, and for legacy. Absolutely, what Annie said, but it's what you need to do to sell a book. I mean, to really sell a book, you want to be like the next like Nancy Drew or like Tom Clancy, like write a mystery, write some fiction, and children's books do sell. Because you think of the time in your life, like when you bought so many books, it was when your kids were little. Your kids were young, and like some of the children's book authors are the best paid authors that there are. And I'm sure Paula doesn't necessarily want to think of herself like, oh, I wrote a children's book for profit. But, her book is profitable because she marketed it correctly, and she she marketed it towards an audience that could buy it. And so that's all my thoughts. I have a children's book coming out.
She has a dinosaur book and her life story book, 2 separate books.
And it's like literally like just there is no trauma involved in this dinosaur book. It's just silly stories about 3 sister dinosaurs that are triceratops. And
with the 3 horns, in case you're wondering.
Go on adventures. And it was stories my dad told me growing up that I wrote down. And so that's all. I wanted to do that for him. I didn't care if, it wasn't really like, I didn't want to make millions from it. I also wrote down my memoir. And so, hello.
I'll just say hello. How dare you talk without me?
But I wrote down my memoir. But so much has changed in the last 2 years, according to exactly what you said. And so now I'm like, like, I don't know if like this memoir exactly represents me. So, okay.
I love it. I'm telling you, if I could just say something maybe to help you, and then I'll stop because others need to share.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I've had to learn to tell myself about when it comes to the past and the reflection, especially with my writings, because my writing can get very raw or emotional. I might have made the mistake, but I'm not that mistake.
Yeah.
And that is what really helps me moving forward, is to know that I tell my stories. And that's another thing. I don't write, and Annie can tell you he reads a lot. I send him a lot just to bounce ideas. I write in my moment. What is the feelings? What is happening? And I do it knowing what I just said. Whatever mistakes are happening, whatever the situation is, like that is what it is today, but this isn't who I am. And I feel that I'm capturing it in a raw narrative manner in real time moments, even though I can't, like it's documented, I just can't legally publish it. But that's how I'm able to like look on stories that I've written. Like there's a book, published many years ago, and what was said, those words are true. If you read it and then you read Rebel with a Cause anthology, you can see different parallels in the growth of Michelle. And who I was when I wrote that chapter is not where I was when I wrote this chapter. But that's where I got to root and ground myself is mistakes made define what got me to where I am. They're not who I am.
No, that's really a good point. That's a really good point. I think I write a lot of poetry, and I try to write like a poem each day. And sometimes I find them, like the past poetry I've written, like feel so dark. And I'm just like, that's not in the state I'm in right at this moment. But, you know, at that moment, it was pretty bleak. Like, and so I understand what you're saying.
That's what makes authors different.
Nikki, I hear you. When you come back, let me know. Then I happily, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic.
Because some write because they want to give the reader what they want to hear. I write because I want to say what I need to say that everybody wants to silence.
You see, look, that's fine. You know, again, I guess maybe I'm addressing the authors who are frustrated, who are getting disappointed with their book sales. I'm saying
I think a great cover, Annie.
Yes, Joni.
A great cover, because whether or not we like a cover will, you know, be picked up quicker if it's appropriately done. And you know, reviews and testimonials definitely help. You can pay for those. You can pay for all of them. I don't suggest that, but you can.
When it comes to a cover too, less is more.
I agree with
you. Not always.
But also, like, it depending on what your book is.
Yeah.
Post like different events, like either at the children's school or at the local.
Tell them that's the truth. You gotta do more. You
really have to offer promotions, like while you're hosting the event. Like if you're going to have people at a bar to like do a chapter read, like, you know, you're gonna have to be prepared to like pay for their drinks, and then or one drink or iced tea, whatever, and then also give them a serious discount off your book. And you also have to price your book right, because pricing your book right will allow you to get into a different bracket. And so don't think you're the greatest writer in the whole world, because you're not.
I saw a book yesterday for $95. I'm like, damn.
Wait, Annie. I am going to talk to you about this, but like truly, I was looking at interior design books so that I could like have one when I went to clients, because I own a contracting company. And this interior design book that was spiral bound was $138. And I was like,
did you buy it?
No. Hell no, I went to Sherwin-Williams and got
the price in your book, right? Look, you know, let me say this. I want to hear from Nikki. Otherwise, I don't like to miss people who shared. Now we'll let Michael escape as well. Hopefully, he'll come back. Look, Paulette's genius is her friends sell her books for her. Don't miss that point. Make friends who are going to sell your books for you. I'm not saying make friends because they're going to sell your books. I say make friends, proper friends will sell your books for you. They'll tell their friends about it, their families, their network. I say make real friends. That's what LinkedIn's here for. And Paulette's managed to do it, where she has people send her books to the library. So I'm saying that's what we want, really. You know, the more of that, the more of that. I mean, who will do that for you? For me? No one. So no, we'll do it for Paulette. I'm saying, you know, there's lessons to be learned there. You know, and maybe it's not a conversation about making money from your books, my friends. Let me play my video, then Nikki, I will come straight to you after this one. It's only a minute and a half, so then I'll come to you.
Most men will tell you that they want to make money. without understanding the law. The only people who make money work in the mint. The rest of us must earn money. This is what causes those who keep looking for something for nothing or a free ride to fail in life. The only way to earn money is by providing people with services or products which are needed and useful. We exchange our product or service for the other man's money. Therefore, the law is that our financial return will be in direct proportion to our service. Success is not the result of making money. Making money is the result of success. And success is in direct proportion to our service. Most people have this law backwards. They believe that you're successful if you earn a lot of money. The truth is that you can only earn money after you're successful. It's like the story of the man who sat in front of the stove and said to it, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." How many men and women do you know, or do you suppose there are today, who take the same attitude toward life? There are millions. We've got to put the fuel in before we can expect heat. Likewise, we've got to be of service first before we can expect money. Don't concern yourself with the money. Be of service. Build, work, dream, create. Do this, and you'll find there's no limit to the prosperity and abundance that will come to you. Prosperity is founded upon a law of mutual exchange. Any person who contributes to prosperity must prosper in turn himself. Sometimes the return will not come from those you serve, but it must come to you from someplace, for that is the law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite.
Isn't that the truth? That really is the truth. We have to make sure our books are giving people something of value. I don't want to talk too much. Nikki, I wonder what your take is. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're here. How are you doing?
I am doing exceptionally well. First of all, greetings to everyone. Joyful and happy Friday, Annie, Michelle, and Joni, and to the listeners as well. How are you all doing?
We're doing. You're here, and I'm in heaven, so I'm all right.
Awesome. Before I go on, I would like to say, Michelle, you are looking absolutely stunning today. Like, I just love your choice of outfit today. The sweater is just giving life, okay? Like, I just completely love the look. So I know that
and the haircut.
Oh my goodness. Oh, listen, this haircut is everything, okay? The layered pixie bob is everything. Yes.
No one asked me, it's fine. Anyway.
I know that there are things that you are still overcoming right now, especially with the loss that you shared. So I want to say that you definitely do not look like what you are dealing with. And I just want to let you know that where you're standing, just the image that you're giving off is definitely that of overcoming. Okay.
I appreciate that. And I just want to say, I listen to your shows. Like, I know, like, I don't follow social media, so people don't even know when I'm listening to their things, but I just, like, it's things you say that I resonate with, because, like, what I'm going through today, my daughter's watching. And I need her to, like, she's seen me not be able to get out of bed and be struggling, but I need her to see me be able to get out of bed and still face it.
Yeah. And no one knows that you got your damaged hand, your broken foot. I could carry on. This is Michelle all over, right? Anyway, Nikki, we're back to you.
So there were a couple of things that resonated with me, and I wanted to share some input on. One thing being, and some of it is affirming what someone else said, but people not having confidence in their product once it is complete, not having the confidence enough to share it. And I think part of that goes to a mindset as if they don't deserve to be compensated for their work. They're not qualified to ask someone to purchase their work because they don't see themselves as a leader or an authority in that they have written, when in fact is they actually are, because they put it together.
Yeah.
Or they feel like they don't want to bother people with their offer, right? And the thing of it is, I like to tell people this, is that if you don't talk about it, who is, right? Number one. And number two is, maybe everyone that you mention your book to is not going to buy the book, but if you don't mention it at all, you don't even give them a chance to say no. And a no is absolutely okay. No doesn't always mean just no, I don't like you, I don't like it, I don't like the idea. No sometimes just means not right now. And that's not with just the book, it's anything. Not right now. Or my finances are just not in my budget. And people we don't want to say, you know what, it's not in my budget. So rather than say it's not in my budget because of I've got this, they just say no. But allow them that space to just say no, and that there is something available to them. And maybe if not you, do you think that there might be someone else who might be interested in my book? My book is about blah 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 blah. I wrote this book because blah 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 blah. And if you know anyone that this might resonate with, would you just kind of recommend it, or take my card, or follow me on Instagram? How can I connect with you? Right? It's about, and that's letting people know that at least if no one else believes in what you put out, at least you believe in it. One of the hardest types of books to sell is a poetry book, right? I am writing my first book of poetry. I'm going to if you have an ear and you can hear, I'm going to share with you that I have a book of poetry. So, and if you ask me what is the book about, I'm going to share you a little bit about what the book is about. If not just that, I might even recite one of the pieces for you, and I will recite anywhere. I recite at a hospital, a park, a beach, a bar. I will recite our pieces are a snippet, right? And I wanted to talk too about the target audience. Michelle, I absolutely love that you said, I wrote, first of all, for me. And after I wrote for me, I was able to go back and say, okay, I see how this could help this audience. I see how this could help this person, this type of person. So now I see, in order for me to market the book, I need several marketing campaigns. Do I have to do it all at once? No, you don't. Do you have to do it to everybody all at once? No, you don't. But just stand in the presence of someone. Your story is going to resonate with someone. And even when we talk about the past, right? You go back and you're like, you know what? I'm not here anymore. Here's the thing. Although you may not be there anymore, someone else is.
I agree.
Someone else is. And to say about the man, the elder, the senior that wrote a book about his time in service. And you're like, well, who's going to listen? We've moved past that now. Yes, we've moved past that, but guess what? We are still there because wars are ongoing. Service is ongoing. Military duty is ongoing. Military experience is ongoing. So who can read? Who? If no one else would be interested in the book, historians would be interested in the book. If no one else is interested in the book, other military service people will be interested in the book. If no one else is interested in the book, someone that says, you know what? I just want to hear someone else's experience. But how will they ever know that the experience is out there if no one ever tells you? And going back to target audience, and I apologize, I'm so passionate about it. I'm so sorry. But I'm unapologetically sorry. How about that?
Yeah, we'll take it.
When it comes to target audience, sometimes just identifying that will handicap people from starting and completing the work. Just take the action and do the work. And if you say everybody's your audience or anybody's, so be it. Because guess what? I can get in my car and go down the road. I'm going to see Starbucks. I'm going to see McDonald's. I'm going to see Burger King, Slim Chicken, Cheddar's. I'm going to see Walmart, H-E-B. I'm going to see all these things, many restaurants. But you know what? Their brands are out there, their logos and their services out there, caring whether or not I'm going to stop in. I may not like McDonald's. I may not like hamburgers, chicken. I may not even prefer to shop at Walmart. I might want to go to Target, and Target is quite a bit of a distance. However, that's what I'm going to pass by as soon as I get in my car and go straight down the road. So, does McDonald's say, well, you know, not everyone has children, so we're not going to put our kids' meals out there? No, the kids' menu is out there whether you have children or not. So, yes, tell anybody, everybody, whether you're a target audience or not. Because if they may not be, someone else is. It's better to tell everybody than to tell nobody until you figure it out. If you don't know. If someone asks me who is my book about, or who is my audience for my first book, and I say first book because there are many to come, but who is the audience? I would say 16 and above. I don't care about your race, religion, your background. I don't care about any of that because everybody can find their place in this body of work. 60 poems. Everyone can find their place. Who do I hope for? I hope to also inspire someone that doesn't even like poetry. And say, oh, wow, I just shifted my idea about poetry. That's all. Thank you.
Mic drop.
There's a lot there for sure. You know, look, I don't have a budget thing. You know, that's always going to come up, right? You know, I can't afford, you know, and whatever your price is, that's just how some people are, right? You know, and you know, like you, I do love Michelle's learning as time goes on. You know, who our readers are. That's what we're talking about, really. You know, who can benefit from reading your book? You know, so again, back to our point earlier, a lot of people don't think about their book after they publish it. They just leave it there and just think, that's it. My job is done. It was a waste of my time. I'm not going to make any money and it's not going to work. No one's going to read it. It's not true. You know, you have to give them a reason and give them the opportunity, as Nikki is saying. You know, if you don't tell them, they'll never know. Look, you know, maybe we'll say, let me debunk one of Joni's points. Many different types of books sell. Almost all types of books sell if you do the work. You know, again, today, most of us will read a business book. It's not, you know, the genre is. It's not. I don't think that's a thing. You know, I think if you write a good book that helps people, they'll buy it. Whatever genre you're in, whatever niche you're in. You know, I think if you think, you know, think of books like Think and Grow Rich. written how many years ago? Nearly 100 years ago. It's still selling today. I'm saying mindset books sell, health books do sell. You know, it's what the message is and whether they're actually helping people. Many books, they are sorry, not worth reading. I'm being polite. I won't call them junk. Yeah, Sandra, I'm glad you're here. So Sandra's book is coming out next after Joni's. So next couple of weeks, I want to be looking at.
Now ask a budget comment.
Go on, please. What's that?
I was just saying that there's like renowned authors that had no budget, and it started with putting a pen to a napkin. And now books are being read worldwide repeatedly.
Yeah.
I think that the moment, this is like, I guess this is one of those things I strive to try to mindset shift people from financial value to self value. That budget is what can limit and stunt you when you think, oh, I don't have enough money to do this, and I don't have enough to do this, and you're already limiting your potential. Get a napkin from McDonald's after you bought a free 50-cent water, or what bought a free, but you start with a napkin and some thought.
Yes. Make a plan. Make a plan. Make a marketing plan for your book. You know, again, let's not get hung up on the money. It's not a money conversation per se. It's more about, are you giving value? Is there a reason people should read your book? Just because you wrote it is not enough reason for someone to read your book. You know, I go back to my very first point today. How are you helping them? With your book, how are you helping them?
I think that I help others because I help myself,
which is fine. Again, I'm not saying they won't buy your book, Michelle. I'm saying, but now don't be surprised if people say, "Well, it's not for me," so I'm not going to buy it.
I don't write with the intent of anybody buying my book, which is what drives you insane.
It doesn't drive me insane. I'm resigned.
It definitely did.
I'm resigned to your reality and your intentions. I'm all right with that. I'm not gonna do myself in over it, am I? I'm gonna live cheerfully at that. Michelle, everyone needs a Michelle B, by the way. Everyone, and I need a Michelle B. Yes, looking good, Annie. I'll take any compliments. I will take any compliments.
I definitely thought that's a new shirt or something.
No. I told you about this shirt. No, this is a shirt I bought years ago, but I was just too big to wear it. And then eventually I worked out how to shrink myself.
It's new today.
Eh?
I said it's new today.
I'm ignoring her. Look, I think, of course, if someone's struggling to buy your books, I would say make sure you have your books in different formats. This $95 book yesterday I saw, I wasn't going to pay $95 for it. I don't care how good it is. But I paid $5.99 for the ebook, and I will actually read the ebook. So I'm saying, let's give them options. A lot of people just not publish their book in one format only. I don't understand that. Give them the options, give them a chance. And if you're wondering, ebooks are normally the lowest price, and then you have paperback, which is normally middle of the range. Ebooks are under $10 usually.
You can make it more personal and do the audio book recorded in your own voice as well.
Yeah, there's paperback. There's also the big hardcover, right? And they cost good money. Hardcovers cost good money, because of the production process for the bookstores, right? Thanks, Sandra. I'll take it. Anyone who says good things about me, I'll accept and thank you. You're the star, Sandra. So I'm blushing now. Let me ignore that. The audiobooks, I think, as well, Michelle, I think they're important, right? And again, there's someone mentioned anthology earlier. I'm thinking if you're have an anthology, no reason why you can't package them like you said, in separately chapters. So as anthology organizers, it's our choice whether we give the authors a chance to repurpose the content. They can take the chapter, put it in your own book if you want to. I don't care, frankly. I'm saying, but some anthology organizers will tell you, it's my content. You give away intellectual property. And that's just how it goes. Let me show you another quick video. I love to show my videos, right? So let me show you one more. Oh no, is it even going to work? No, this one's too long. There's one I wanted to show. Okay, there you go. It'll work. All right, let me show it quick. It's a short, so you know how long that will be. Very, very, what, 30 seconds? How long are shorts, Michelle? 30 seconds? A minute? If we're really unlucky. Okay, it's not that one.
Shorts aren't shorts no more necessarily. So
write the book. They try to make it perfect. Then they start marketing. Would anybody ever put a lot of campaign money into a marketing ad, a lead magnet that you didn't test? Even if it's working on one channel, dude, would you put the exact same ad into the next thing and test it? You got to test this shit. So most people will
keep, loan, sell.
No worries.
Vicario, keep. Regulon,
I don't know why I'm
sell.
Green.
People write the book. They try to make it perfect. Then they start marketing. Would anybody ever put a lot of campaign money into a marketing ad, a lead magnet that you didn't test? Even if it's working on one channel, dude, would you put the exact same ad into the next thing and test it? You got to test this shit. So most people will write it, then market it and go, it's not working and it's not making me the money. And I think I wrote the wrong book. It's not helping me meet my mission. I didn't really get to impact the people I wanted to impact. The truth is, most authors sell less than 250 books in their lifetime. People write the book. They try to make it perfect. Then they start marketing. Would anybody ever put a lot of campaign money into a marketing ad, a lead magnet that you didn't test? Even if it's working on one channel, dude, would you put the exact same ad into the next thing and test it? You got to test this shit. So most people will write it, then market it and go, it's not working.
Don't be that person. That's the point, right? Don't be that person. Your marketing plan has to be central to your book in the first place. You have to know how you're going to sell this book, who you're going to sell it to. I think his point about different platforms have different requirements is an important one. Just imagine if I turned up every day and just, threw out posts about my book. When will you get bored? Day 2? I know you're a bit different, Michelle, but I'm saying most people get bored on day, unless they post second time, they're like, less of that. I better avoid any posts because they're boring. They're all about his book, trying to sell his book, right? The simple logic is this: like any social media presence, you want to talk about what your audience want to talk about 90% of the time. Now, so look at that for what it is. And so over a period of 10 days. One post will be about your product, your book. The other 9 days will be about what the audience care about, whatever that may be. That's questionnaires, that's content, that's research, that's articles they might enjoy. Something, videos they might enjoy. But literally, don't bang on about your book all day. Don't make everything you do about your book because people just get bored and they switch off. Give them a reason to like you. Give them a reason to be in your company. Give them a reason to want to engage with you. And then they will find their way to your book. Trust me. That's what the good people sell their books in good numbers do. They befriend people. Befriend people, my friend. Befriend your readers. I dare you to befriend your readers. You'd be amazed what happens. They buy more books. And they can't tell other people to buy your books too. Befriend people, really. Sandra, honestly. Right. say when you spend 150 pounds on a shirt, 200 pounds on a shirt, which I did, and then to realize I couldn't actually wear them was heartbreaking. It's taken me nearly 10 years, Sandra, to fit into these t-shirts again. I got a few of them. I got many of them, sadly. I did buy many designer label clothes when I was younger. I can wear them again now. Yay.
I mean, it's visible just with your screen. Like there's you right there, and then there's your headshot behind you, and you can see the difference.
Mm-hmm. It's still the same me. Yeah, well, it hurts. That's all I can say. I told you about my water diet for 2 days. I might fit in my t-shirts even better then, but I'm still going to be in pain. That's what I'll say for sure. Look, I think back to our points about how to sell books. Someone mentioned events earlier on. I think that's important. I think social media has changed. Yes, posts still gets reactions, but let me say this clearly. Your posts get reactions from your friends. If you got no friends, your post won't get any reaction. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've all done posts for a long time, and no one's cared, right? Two likes doesn't make it worth my while. I'm saying if I don't get any likes today, I'm all right. But I know if I'm going to post, most of my friends will engage. So make those friends if you want more. If you want more engagement, But if you truly want to sell your books, and I'm back to my point I made earlier. 1 post out of 10 will be about your book. The other post will be about what makes your readers happy, what helps them, what they enjoy, what's going to make them laugh, what they're going to learn from, what's going to help them solve a problem, how they're going to see themselves as part of your community that you're trying to talk to. That's what sells books. But again, so on the event side, show up every day. The only way I can describe it is say this to you. The people who sell the most are on radio and on TV. We call them celebrities sometimes. They're the ones who get the most engagement, the most people responding to who they are, most people following them. Some become influencers. Remember that word? I'm saying, right. To do that, you have to show up every day, pretty much. You might miss 1 or 2 days, but you have to show up every day, right? Now, if you're on radio 24/7, if you're on radio every day, not all day, every day, I would say, if you're on radio once a day, people your readers, your audience will get to know you better. And the more they see you, the more they hear you, the more they want to support you. Go and look at celebrities. If no one sees you, then unlucky. Whereas those who get seen, think about Oprah, the Oprahs of this world. Once they suddenly have a daily TV channel, TV program, TV show, people suddenly want to support them, and their income blows up. Whatever they do, turns to gold. My question to you, my friends, is how are you talking to your audience, your readers, every day? That's a real trick. Talk to them every day to entertain them when they do come to your sphere. I can talk about things like email. They work. Imagine if you offered your readers a free book in return for doing something, whatever that something is. Subscribe to my email, for example. You can have a free book. Even if it's a prize draw, buy my book and 10 of you can win X amount, for example. Or buy something and then I'll send 10 of you my book. I'm saying find a way to get people to believe that they're getting more than they're giving to you, whatever that means, right? So the prize draw is just saying for your time and for your slight attention, I'm willing to make it worth your while. People will respond. Find different ways that you just get your book in people's hands. That's what you must do. Find whatever that means. If that means going to more funerals, more bar mitzvahs, more weddings, go along. And don't be shy to talk about your book. As Nikki said, don't be shy.
You don't intend to just look at the obituary list and just pop in. I mean, what do you mean? Go to more funerals?
Oh no! Lorette has a way of going to funerals, and maybe it's an age thing, Michelle. We're still too young. There comes a time when all you do is go to funerals. Sorry about that. And I don't want to get to that age, but I'm saying, wherever you go, where there's humans. Nikki said it very well. Where there's bars, where there's clubs, where there's libraries, wherever there's humans, go and talk about your book. Every chance you get, don't be shy. It's a funeral. I can't talk about my book. You can. You can. You never know. And I would say to my clients, to my friends, each book sale is golden.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at it as just a book sale. Every copy we sell is magic, because we could easily not have sold that book today, and it's not going to make you rich or bankrupt you. But appreciate every reader. And again, what are you doing for your readers once they buy your book? And many authors make the mistake. Once the people buy the book, they ignore them. We don't even know who they are, but we can know who they are. The simple trick is put something in your book that makes readers have to go to your website and register and do something to get something. If you want more resources, go to the website. Here's a link. Of course, then you're going to get an email address. And the bigger that email address can be, the more people you have to market your book to next time, by not even going anywhere. You just, by just typing on your computer or on your phone. Oh, my new book is out. Do you care? Look, some people have email lists for over 100,000 people, and they can't get 100 copies sold on launch day. Don't be that person. Engage your audience, engage your community. Make it worth their while. Make them really love you. And let me try it. You can love them first, and then they'll love you back. That's a simple truth, right? Look, I suppose the elephant in the room is this: book revenue for authors, income for authors. It's not book sales. It's performances, my friends. Speaking gigs is where the money is at. Get yourself in front of your target audience who can benefit from your book and go and speak to them. Get some speaking gigs. You might have to do many free to start, but ultimately, you would earn more from one speaking gig than from selling 10,000 books. Think of that. If you get paid a few £1,000s or dollars for a speaking, proper speaking gig, big stage, big audience, that's going to make you more money than selling books. So that's why a lot of most authors will aim for speaking gigs. Because that's where the money really is. So the last thing I'm going to say is your book can fuel your business. Now, for me, do I want to sell more books? Of course I do, which is why I do things like this. Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Yeah, I know it's over there, but it's here too. Here is the real book in my hand, right? But look, there's more chance of me getting to publish other people's books by me just doing that. Whether it's those who are here today, here right now, or whether it's those who are going to watch on replay. I'm saying my book is it's like a business card. It helps me get more clients. And again, this comes back to everything's like full circle, right? It comes back to the video we just watched. Don't think marketing after the event. Think marketing before you write your book. It's one of my teams that we're working with right now. It's trying to work out what are we all going to do to contribute individually. You know, and how would this book help you given what you do, right? So the simple way we've done it is say, okay, right, we're going to have a chapter for each of the author's specialist areas. And then that way we can all legitimately walk around with a book in our hand and go, oh, yeah, I'm in the book, right? Yeah. And the readers will get insight into who you are, your values, your principles, how you work, what you think, and so on and so forth. And that's what and then that's going to move them to want to work with you if they like what they read, obviously. You know, so use your book in cleverer ways. Don't just stick on a bookshelf on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and expect anything to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. Can't say that enough. Let me stop talking. I've talked way too much.
Excuse me. Well, you didn't. You said just enough. Okay. You said just enough. May I please try something?
Of course you can. Sorry, I muted myself. Of course you can.
Thank you. Excuse me. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever gone through something that was traumatic and overwhelming and thought that you couldn't get through it, or didn't know how to tell anybody else that you needed help, or felt like you could even ask? You have? Do you mind if I share a little bit about my story? I found myself, and thank you for listening to it. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to be long, but I found myself going through a series of surgeries. I was having headaches, something was going on, and the doctors told me that I needed to have a surgery. And then one surgery turned into another surgery. And, you know, that was really devastating for me. But you know what? By the grace of God, I am still here. You know how many times I wanted to give up? I can't tell you. I want to give up a lot. But I'm still here. And I could tell you more, but I actually put part of my story in a book. And if you would be interested, would you please visit my website and see if my book resonates with you or someone that you know? That's it. I just wanted to try that out. That could be a post. That could be, you know.
Girl, you need to do ASMR mindset. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you. I'll consider that.
Part of me is thinking, as long as you're saying something about your book to people, Nikki, I think some people will respond. Now, the trick is to be saying something about your book, not making a mistake many people make, which is write the book, publish the book, and leave it. You know, they get bored of it themselves. You know, look, it's not easy to reach out to people every day. I'm aware of that. So even me standing here looking at my book behind me and in front of me, it's still hard. You still have to G yourself up to talk about it, because it can feel monotonous. It can feel like repetitive. But it's our job. If I don't do that,
Right people.
Yes, I agree. If you're talking to the right people, it's easier. You know, and I'm lucky to have a community of people who are into books. You know, that's the magic of my life in the last 3 years on LinkedIn. Before that, I had no community. Well, I had no one who really cared, to be fair. And I was talking to no one, trying to talk to everyone about marketing. Whereas now I've got, authors, You know, we love each other. You know, it's a love affair. And now Yolanda is another one of my author friends. I say, we are back to work on her. It's a life story, but in fiction. Yolanda knows what I mean. So do connect with her. You will get to know her, much like Nikki in good time. You know, so I'm excited. You know, but again, everything comes down to making friends on social media. My friends, make friends, real friends. I know some people struggle with the concept of having friends in that sense. You know, but I'm easy. Listen, I'm happy. You know, Michelle and I have argued this in the past. You know, I'm good at loving everyone I meet, and truly making you that person, that friend that I want, until you prove that you don't want to be that friend, and then I'm like, I'm out. Michelle's like, no, and no one's your friend until they become your friend.
I didn't say no one.
99% of
I didn't say no one.
99%
I said you
is
have
no.
friends, you have acquaintances, you have colleagues, you have neighbors, you have place people in their position accordingly, is what I said.
Friends to start.
No, not everybody is not your friend. No.
Here we go. You know, Michelle says, write the website in the comments, please. Nikki, no, Michelle's convinced. So, you know, do share your website link. Why not, right? Who's LinkedIn user? Hopefully, it's Christiana. Let me have a look. Paulette, I sent you the link again, didn't I? I'm sure I sent you a link to your DM. Joni says, show me the StreamYard link. Oh, Joni, how can you had the link to join the studio? So Paulette's got the link. Let me send Joni the link. Otherwise, I feel bad. And I know we're about to go. So, all right, Joni, if you're coming back, we'd love to hear some more of your thoughts. You know, look, I say making friends is your best strategy. Use that. I think Christiana says, how far in advance of the launch you start to want to promoting their book? Oh, great question. Go on, Michelle, Nikki, what do you think? How far in advance you start promoting your book?
The moment you start writing. Why not? I mean, I think there's different layers of it. So you can say I'm in the conceptual phase, I'm in the drafting phase, editing phase, but regardless, the moment you speak it, you're manifesting it universally.
I completely agree. You know, I have been doing spoken word since around 1997, on and off, right? And people have been asking about a book for eons. And when I committed to, really committed to just doing the book, but God told me to do the book. I started, just sharing then. And I don't think there's a time too soon, but I think there could be a time too late, right? But there's not a time too soon, and too late does not mean okay, don't do it now, just don't do it. It just means okay, now run, Forrest, run.
Alignment, have received, show you're doing the work. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't talk about it, but then don't produce it.
Exactly. So even with my first book of poetry, it's not ready to be published yet. However, just when I even got to the editing stage, I said, hey, guess what? Oh my God, my masterpiece is finally coming together. And I'm now at the editing phase. And when I started designing the book cover, I shared the book cover. So is there a time too soon? I would say no, but if you can let people know a time frame, even that would be helpful, right? So they'll start anticipating it, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if it's delayed, share. Hey, the book is delayed, but if it's delayed, give them something to hold on to keep them interested.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's keeping that buzz alive. Even
Yes,
if the book is taking forever, I mean literally forever.
yes, right.
No, it's for you to keep your energy and your enthusiasm high. The book is still coming. The book is still going to help people the way I've said, the way I know, the way I said it, the way I'm telling you now. But it's a few months away. It's not ready yet, as Nikki says. That no one's going to put a time on your head, right?
It's like just transparency and accountability.
Yeah, no, and some books take a very long time. To be fair, some books take a long, long time. LinkedIn user, I can't tell who you are, and that's I want to help you with your book. Let's talk. If you have a publisher already, okay, fine. But even then, I still want to learn more about your book, really. So say Arlene, yes, okay, Arlene, let's talk, Arlene. I know you well enough, so let's have a conversation. And can we help you? Maybe not with the publishing, maybe not with the editing, but to become a bestseller. Yes, we'll definitely help you with that, right? No one else I know guarantees to make you a bestseller. I'm the idea. Yeah. It cheers me up. It cheers me up, my friends. Look, hopefully people are listening to us and what we're sharing today. And maybe you're going to watch on the replay. If you do, if you're on my YouTube, please like, comment on today's video, and subscribe and watch other videos, my friends. Watch other videos. There's good stuff there. Michelle, are you still watching videos? Are you still my number one YouTube fan?
Yeah, you could literally go into multiple accounts on multiple TVs and just mute it if you have to, because you got one you really want to hear. And there was a really good show earlier this week.
Thank you. Look, I love the Michelle's because they make my YouTube work suddenly. I looked yesterday, I had 999% increase.
I told you he was gonna get you there
a year ago. So I'm getting there, but I need more people to watch my videos and engage. Dentist, I'm glad you're here. So Dentist, we're on book number 2. So the first one, Mummy, was Tooth Decay. That's a dental book for kids. The next one, that is about how to find that work-life balance. Whatever, what does that really mean? So that's the next one. I'm gonna try and get that out in the next couple of weeks as well. I love my life. Yeah. Suddenly I've got loads of books to publish, Michelle. Given I want to publish 1,000 a year, I'm saying that's bring them on. I'll make them happen. One day we just have to get a team to do what we do, right? I've got a team already, but I'm going to get
on your way to the agency. I already know it.
Yeah, well, we'll get there in the end. But please, no, don't be shy. If we can help you with your books, then let's talk. If we can help you with marketing, let's talk as well. Most of my marketing will be putting you in front of people to build your community, build that audience of buyers, get to know people, care about people. That's what it comes down to. Build that network of people who will support your book. I dare say, my friends, support other people's books as well. I'm always amazed how many authors, when you say, how many books have you bought recently? The answer is going to be 0, right? None. If you don't buy books, then you're not thinking like a reader. You don't know how readers think. Imagine you talk about cars and say, do you drive? You say no. How are you going to know what people who drive think and how their brain really works? I'm saying learn to buy books. Not only with the people
are my favorite place. I love finding a book that somebody's already read and highlighted or put some notes in the margin. Those are my favorite books to find.
Find books, and if you have friends who've written books, support them. They'll support you in return, right? Let's support each other. You know, and slowly but surely we get more reach, our books in more places. And we'll say when it comes to book sales, all we want is that check from Amazon or the other bookstores, you know, at the end of the month, right? That's you know, the longer you can keep that going, the happier you will be. I'm not saying you're going to be rich. At least you'll be, you know, you can see there's a reason there's a benefit from writing your book. You know, if you do the extra work, go out there, tell people. You know, if you write a book for kids, go and tell schools, go and tell kids charities, go and tell where there's kids. If you write a book for women, then go and find where your audience is, wherever that may be. If it's a bar, so be it, right? You know, but let's stop expecting and let's stop being disappointed about book sales when we're not doing the work, going the extra mile that you have to go to actually sell books. I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much, everyone. Michelle, Nikki, anything you want to say before we go? No? Nikki?
I'm just thankful for the platform and the space.
No, I'm thankful for you being here. I'm thankful for the fact that, you know,
Yes.
we're awake. Go on, Nikki.
I would like to know if I could share a piece from my book.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So the piece I'm going to share is Nothing Compares to You. They think they know, but they don't know my love until they know of you. Raindrops of your memory pour into my mind like a torrential storm, flooding the veins of my cerebrum enough to cause brain damage. I smile. Then out comes a rainbow telling me it'll never rain like this again. My heart lived in the wilderness without a compass, beating against the wind so I don't know it's still beating. It's grown cold, covered in icicles, but underneath the ice, at the very core, is a remnant of heat. Nothing, melting the ground beneath me, whispering, it'll never rain like this again. I know what it's like to have someone bring out the best in me. And I know what it's like to have someone bring out the worst in me. But most of all, I know what it's like to have someone love all of me, not picking me apart, not choosing the best parts to keep, but loving the whole of me. And to reciprocate that love by pouring into each other's souls, resuscitating each other daily to breathe. Breathe. Come on, breathe. Not for me, not for you. Do it for us. Come on, breathe. Until the Most High called you home, and I couldn't breathe. I say, they don't know my love until they know how I loved you. I see the rainbow, and I know it'll never rain like this again. It'll never rain like this again.
Tell me that's not genius. That is pure genius. Yeah. So I love your creative mind, and I love your storytelling mind. You know, so I'm a business person. I'm quite fact based, and you know, being creative is. I would say that's not my thing, but some others will tell me otherwise. But you know, Nikki, I can't wait. I mean, I know you know your book of poems. Normally, book of poems are about 30, 40, 50, 60 pages. Yours is in the hundreds. You're gonna have to wait to see what we mean, my friend. You're gonna have to wait to see what we mean.
Thank you.
Thank you. Look, do connect with Nikki, connect with everyone here. And I say, yeah, connect with everyone and get to meet as many as you can possibly meet. You know, get to know who people are. You know, it's part of sowing the seeds for your book. Your marketing starts now. If you're ever gonna write a book, if you've written a book, as Nikki said earlier, you know, maybe you know you didn't start marketing when you should have, but you know, now is the time, right? Now is the time. You know, now don't wait any longer. It'll pay off in the long run. No, if not doing more marketing today, at least it's create that plan. Take a step forward, my friends. Michelle says your poetry is beautiful. I think we agree. You know, you have a talent for sure. You know, I don't have it. No, but you know, I'm not the one but writing the book, so I'm all right with that. You know, I'm glad we got you, my friend. I'm glad we got you, Nikki. Look, my friends, enjoy yourselves. So we'll have to bring the show to an end. I'm probably missing the meeting right now. Hopefully, I'm not, but I would be surprised if I am. Ooh, am I missing the meeting? Maybe not. We'll see. I'll find out in a minute when I leave the show, right? But do come back again in 2 weeks' time, and then let's talk about another topic to do with writing, publishing, and selling your book. If you've got any ideas that you want us to discuss, please DM me and then let's talk. Now, Arlene, definitely we need to talk. Now, that's it. That's made my day. You know, so we've known that Arlene is in the process of publishing her book. That's really cheered me up. Yours will be next, Michelle. All right, yours will be soon. I mean, which of your 5 books?
As soon as we get the lawyer's approval, yes, we will be publishing.
Okay. So, which of your 5 books are we going with first?
Well, what's on hold currently, the first 2 of the series of many are done. The 3rd is beginning.
Cool. Okay.
But that's that series. I mean, there's others.
Yeah, I say that which of your 5 books. I wasn't lying. This woman is trying to write 5 books and more at once.
And I mean, but the thing is, though, you say trying, but then I showed you 2 finished, and that so it's again that's the alignment. Like I say it, but then I can prove and show it.
Yeah. Look, let's get it done. You know, so so the book is published. Of course, I'm never happy, am I? Thank you, Nikki. So they suddenly fell off. Hopefully, you're all right. So Michelle wants to buy your poetry book. No, we'll have to wait till it comes out, Michelle. I don't think this one's under my control. So, but you'll be amongst the first to know for sure. Now Nikki's part of our community on here. Then, you know, we will all know, and hopefully we will support her when it comes to book launch. Michelle, you got content to create, Michelle.
I have a cord to go by. But yes.
And what?
I gotta go get a cord.
Okay, for your dog.
No.
But Michelle. Oh, okay, your HDMI lead. But Michelle, we need content ASAP.
You're violating my LinkedIn personal boundaries, and we're gonna leave this for an off live stream discussion. And
I want to have a public conversation about it. We're here. It's just you and me. Okay, fine. Michelle, we need to choose the package today, because nothing you can do can be used without us choosing a package today. Michelle. She's choosing a package on Monday. Michelle. Anyway, my friends, enjoy your day. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you will. The other Michelle B is going to go and shovel pony food. Lovely. I'm going to go and try and get some food before my water diet starts.
What the duck?
Yes, honestly, yeah, your ducks. Enjoy, my friends. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone who's joined us. Let's connect and let's talk. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you, Team Replay.
Bye. Yeah, by all means, watch a replay and like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone. Bye. Every single moment is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Google.media.com and celebrating with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Google.media.com.